Hello and welcome back to Unfiltered, the podcast no one asked for. This is episode 2. Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're coming from the last episode. I appreciate you coming back and supporting me and wanting to hear more because, I'm obviously funny and hilarious and gorgeous and intelligent, and you obviously got that all from the first video. You know that. So today I'm going to be reading you some Reddit stories, okay? Now, I don't know about you, but I am a Reddit story fiend, okay? You will catch me listening to Smosh, reading Reddit stories all the time. I sleep to that shit. I nap to that shit. That's the same thing as sleeping to that shit. I take a shower and listen to that shit. I'm on my break at work and I'm back there listening to Shane and I'm like, yes, read it. I love that. I love it so much, okay? And I don't know why. I think I just really enjoy listening to other people's lives. But I don't know. Usually they're reading Am I the Asshole ones. And I'm more into I like those ones, but I also I don't have really a preference, I guess, of what stories I prefer listening to. I think anything interesting, anything that's got a plot twist, anything that's huh? What? Yeah, girl, that's my shit. So today I have 3 stories from the True Off My Chest Reddit, and 2 of them are just one post, and then the last one has an update. So it's like a 2-in-1 for the last one. I like that. It's like buy one get one free. You're welcome. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm gonna get into it because I don't know how much storage my phone has, and I don't know how long this is gonna take. So yeah, I'm reading off of my iPad, so if you see me looking down, that is why. Okay. The first one says that my fiance made a split-second decision that has cost me a year of my life, and I'm furious. TLDR, my fiance ran a blinking yellow light after I told him to wait, and we got T-boned. Everyone else walked away fine, but I ended up with multiple fractures in my spine, tailbone, and sternum, as well as 2 full breaks in my pelvis. I had to undergo surgery where a bracelet didn't even fit and was forced to move through unbearable pain. I've lost my independence, my ability to walk, and a year or more of progress I had worked so hard for. I'm angry, grieving the life I was building, and just trying to get through it day by day. I, 26 female, my fiance 30 male, and his son 5 years old. We're out getting Chipotle on March 14th. On the way home, we reached a busy intersection with a blinking yellow light. My fiance was driving, and I could tell he was about to go. I saw a car coming fast, and I very clearly told him to wait until the light was green. I don't know if he didn't hear me, didn't take me seriously, or just ignored me, but he kept driving forward anyway. And we got T-boned by a car going 50 miles an hour. Everyone else walked away fine, including his son, thank God, but I was crushed. I ended up with 2 full breaks in my pelvis, 2 fractures in my tailbone, fractures in my L4 and L5 vertebrae, and a fractured sternum. I was and still am in so much pain, and I can't even explain it. I wouldn't wish this kind of pain on anyone. I was rushed to the ER, where everything was a complete blur except the trauma. I started having intense flashbacks, panic attacks, and nightmares about the crash and the pain. I had to undergo surgery where 2 7-inch steel screws were inserted into my pelvis. At the hospital, they gave me a back brace that was way too big for me. The nurses and PTs even admitted they didn't measure and just guessed my size. Even when we told them it was too big, they didn't do anything about it, and despite this, they expected me to stand up and move around wearing it. That brace did nothing for support. Moving in it felt like my spine and pelvis were being ripped apart. The pain I was in trying to follow their orders to stand and walk was inhumane. All I remember from those days is pain, frustration, fear, and this overwhelming sense of helplessness. After about a week, I was transferred to a physical rehabilitation center. I didn't want to eat, I didn't want to bathe, I didn't want to move. I was so depressed and in so much pain, even thinking about shifting in bed made me cry. I had to depend on strangers for the most basic things, going to the bathroom, bathing, even feeding myself. As someone who's always been independent, it was utterly humiliating and devastating. I'm home now, but my recovery is far from over. Doctors and physical therapists have told me the same thing. You have the second worst kind of break anyone can experience. You'll need at least a year to recover, if not longer. You can't put weight on your right leg for 3 months, no bending, no twisting, and even after the 3 months, it'll be a very slow process. And that's the part that's eating me alive. Because before this, I was finally getting my life together. I was working on my health. I was eating right, doing CrossFit regularly, getting stronger, and finally meeting people and socializing. I had just gone back to college. I was finally building structure into my life after being recently diagnosed with ADHD. And now it's all on hold. I can't work out. I can't leave the house unless it's for a doctor's appointment. I can't do anything by myself. And it feels like I lost everything I was working so hard to build. And even though my fiance has been supportive through all of this and is helping take care of me, I'm so angry at him. I told him, I warned him, I said, don't go, wait. And when I asked him why he kept going, he said, I don't know. And that I don't know is now costing me an entire year of my life, maybe more. And I'm the one who's paying for it every single day. So yeah, I just needed to get this off my chest. I feel trapped in my own body. I feel like I'm grieving the life I could have had this year. I feel angry, sad, helpless, and I'm just trying to make sense of it all. But mostly, I just want my life back. I know this is temporary. I know I'll eventually recover. But losing a year of my life, my sense of normalcy, and my peace of mind is really, really tough. If anyone has any advice on how I can work on this, or maybe even share their own experiences similar to this one, I'd greatly appreciate it. Bro, I don't know what I would do in that situation. If I'm being completely 100% honest, I would crash out. And that's not the answer. Don't crash out. Don't do that. Don't do that. But if you did, valid. I don't think anybody would be mad at you. I think you have full crash out immunity right now. I know that this was not like an intentional thing. A lot of accidents happen by accident, and I can't remember. So in the story, it says that you were waiting at a blinking yellow light, or you were going into an intersection with a blinking yellow light. And my only thing that I'm thinking is you could be taking like a left, and it has like the yield light where like it turns yellow while the rest of the lights are green, and then at some point you get a green, like a protected left turn. That's the only thing I can think of of it being like a blinking yellow light, because there's those other stoplights that are like red blinking lights and yellow blinking lights, and those one side has to stop. So if they don't, obviously that's an issue. But it sounds like from what you're describing that, you know, there was not an all clear. He shouldn't have gone. And, you know, things happen, and unfortunately, like, you can't change what happened, but I think everything that you're feeling is very valid. I'm glad that your fiance is being supportive and everything, but I still, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, I understand, like, your frustration and your anger, because, like, that is horrible. That is horrible. I don't think I have any advice on how, like, to work on it, because I think just sharing how you feel and, like, being able to talk out your emotions and process them fully is probably the best thing that you can do. If you're not in therapy, go to therapy, because that would really help. I know obviously you're in like physical therapy and all that stuff, and depending on how your financial situation is, which it doesn't sound great, because I know like car accidents can be real expensive, especially if the other person didn't have car insurance. But you didn't mention anything like that, but I sometimes adding on another bill or another appointment or anything, like, that's just a lot already. Thankfully I know like telehealth is a thing, and if you need like therapy like that, that's way easier, because you don't have to go in person. You can just be on the phone and like talk to somebody. But I also know that making connections like that is hard for some people, so it's not even an option for people sometimes. So that's my advice. I know that it's unsolicited kind of, because it's not on this post itself. It's me reading and saying this here, but you know, I think it's a valid crash out, and I think that you should go to therapy and make sure that you're talking to someone in order to get through this, because there's no way you're going to be able to successfully get through this block in your life without having someone to help you regulate how you're feeling. And I think it's important for everybody to go to therapy. Can you tell I'm a psych major? Yes? Okay. I think it's important for everyone to go to therapy, but especially in a situation like this where like your whole life is changing, girl. Like this is a complete change. Like, you're not going back from this. And not to say that in a crazy way, but like your life is going to be forever different. Like the way that you see traffic, the way you see that intersection, the way that you feel when you bend over, like everything is different now. But That's my advice. I hope that helped a little bit. I don't know. But no, that story's crazy. And for I would be mad. I would be mad for real. But I also have a lot of empathy for people, and um I wear my heart on my sleeve, girl. Like, you tell me, oh, that hurt my feelings. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault now. This whole situation, my fault. I'm sorry. But yeah, that was that one. That's crazy. I don't know what I would do in that situation. I think that would be it for me. On to the next story. This one is crazy. This one is weird, okay? I think my husband is sleeping with his sister. Again. Yeah, you heard that. Again. Okay. Long, ridiculous post, but bear with me. Which, by the way, not long. This is very short compared to the last one. So when my hubby was 12, his mother passed away. At age 14, his father remarried. She also had a daughter his age. Oh no. Oh no, we're starting off bad. This is stepbrother, stepsister. Ugh. They all lived in one house. Apparently, my husband and his stepsister used to sneak around their parents and engage in adult activities. No, thank you, actually. This went on for years. Me and my husband married at 23. I always thought my husband and his stepsister were close, but I just assumed it was from growing up together. A few years ago, I found out my husband was having an affair with his stepsister. I didn't even know what to say. I had no idea this relationship even existed. I can't even wrap my mind around it. Obviously, me and my husband entered counseling where I found out all the details from his childhood and just how close they really were. Somehow I was able to overcome for the sake of our children. However, for the past few months, my husband has been acting weird. Coming home late, being protective of his phone, not wanting to have sex. He always does. And I swear I can even smell his sister's perfume on him. We barely got through this the first time, and I'll be devastated if I find out this is happening again. My husband claims that she was his first love, but I'm his forever and after love, the one he can't live without. Get out. Girl, leave. Girl. Okay, but I can't say that because y'all have children. So, like, actually, no, I can't say that. Because, okay, listen, I don't understand what it's like to have children. I don't know because I don't have them, and I don't know if that's ever gonna happen for me, but I don't know what I would do in this situation either. No, I do know. I do know. Stand up, girl. Like, stand up, okay? Because, one, this shit is weird. Regardless of if you're blood or not, if you are in a family situation and if your dad and your stepmom get married and your stepsister is that's your sister. I don't care if you're not related by blood or not. That's crazy. You're insane. You're insane. And by you, I mean him. He's insane. Girl, get out. Girl, leave. Cause that last, she was his first love, but I'm his forever and after love. Where you get that? Romeo and Juliet? Like, no. No. Leave. Get out. Because my thing is, like, at this point, if you can co-parent with him and coexist as co-parents, you're still saving your kids. They're still gonna have him in their lives. Don't stay with him. Don't do that. Because this is obviously not over. They're not done. Him admitting that she was his first love. You know how people talk about, like, oh, my first love, I'll never forget that. That's my first love. You know, like, oh, whatever. That's forever. You think about that forever. That's not going anywhere. And the fact that they still see each other, you think that's over? You think they stopped? Nah. No. Somebody commented, I wish I didn't have eyes, and I kind of agree. Because this is crazy. And someone said, Everyone needs to stop staying with nasty ass partners for the sake of the children. Doing this is worse for them. Kids are going to find out when they're a few years older and know that their mom stayed with their dad who was banging their aunt. That'll definitely lead to some super healthy relationships for those kids in their teens and adulthood. Yeah. No. That last part, I know, obviously is sarcasm, but like, yeah. No, yeah. Girl, get out. That's that one. We're moving on because that's freaky. That is freaky. Oh Lord, this last one is long and I hope we make it through it because this one is a two-parter. Okay, this one's a two-parter, and I've already been recording for 20 minutes, so let's hope we get through this. I, 23 female, found out 7 months ago that my boyfriend, 26 male, has been cheating on me, but I haven't told him I know. Oh girl, you know this is about to be good. I found out while he was away for work. A girl he slept with sent me a DM on Instagram, and she told me everything and even sent pictures. I remember staring at my screen, my heart pounding, my hands shaking. I felt like my entire world had just shattered. I didn't even respond. I just sat there drowning in pain. I finally understood what it meant to have a dagger to the heart. Anyways, I made a decision. I wouldn't confront him. Instead, I grieved and mourned our relationship like it had already died. I've been with him for 3 years. I thought everything was going perfect. I didn't see this coming at all. That entire week, I was alone, cycling through every emotion imaginable, and this might sound crazy, but there was a part of me that almost needed to feel the pain. Like I was clinging to it, letting it consume me, and in a way, this may sound emo, but it felt good. I can't explain it, but I felt alive. Maybe this is borderline masochistic, but whatever. This is how I wanted to cope. Meanwhile, the girl kept messaging me, more pictures, more details, receipts, and even videos. It just got worse and worse. It turned into taunts and cursing. I felt like she was desperate for us to break up, but I never responded. Instead, I kept reading her messages over and over, torturing myself with the truth until at some point it didn't hurt anymore, and I started to feel numb. He was still himself, sweet and caring and affectionate. Like, I honestly wouldn't have suspected a thing if that girl didn't DM me. He would sometimes catch on I'm acting off and I blame my hormones or stress from work, and he would buy it. I pretended everything was fine, and he would have noticed something was deeply wrong if he wasn't busy cheating. I think it also helped we got along very well as roommates and friends. We were still having sex. He was a generous lover, too generous even, and it helped bear with it all. I lied saying my implant fell out, so we began using condoms, and I got myself tested regularly. Thankfully, I was clean the whole time. I eventually started to see him as someone I lived with, and we just happened to have sex. It took months, but one day something inside me shifted. Like the love I had for him started fading. I went through every stage of grief. Now I feel free and lighter. I know I can live without him, and that realization is the most liberating feeling. This is the craziest part. Everything I once found beautiful about him started to look distorted. I started to see his flaws. It was like I was under a spell, adoring and loving this man, and now when I look at him, I'm like, how? This week, I'm moving into my own place, and I'm finally breaking up with him. I'm mentally checked out, and I'm at peace with myself. I am okay. I feel a sense of dread, but also relief that I will finally break up with him. It took 7 months to finally get over him. I don't know if I'll tell him that I know he cheated on me, or just say I don't want you anymore, just ghost him. All I know is I'm breaking up with him. Any advice about how to end it would be greatly appreciated. Girl. I mean, wow. Like, oh my God. That's crazy. I don't even have advice. I think you're doing everything great. Like, there's no advice I can give you because you're doing it all. The fact that you are able to have the mental ability to overcome this by yourself and just completely block him out. Girl, where'd you learn that? Because share with the class. I think that gathering all the information, knowing what's going on, protecting yourself, disconnecting yourself from him, all of that, setting yourself up to have somewhere to leave and go to that's your apartment, your place, for when for when you tell him, you're doing everything right. I don't think there's any advice I can give you. My only thing, don't let him try to change your mind, because manipulation skills, I swear, are ingrained in men from when they're born. I don't know how they get that. I don't know where they got it from. I'm not saying it's only men, but the men I've experienced, yeah. Where'd you find that? Where'd you get that? All right, well, that was the first one, and now we're going to read the update really quick. Here is the update. I finally moved out early in the morning right after he left for work. It was his place, and I didn't have much to begin with, so the move was easy. I'd been slowly filling up my new place over the past month, getting everything ready so I could leave without a hassle. A lot of you suggested I ghost him, but I couldn't. That's just not me. I don't like disappearing on people, even when they deserve it. So instead, I came back that evening and waited for him to get home from work around 7 p.m. I was nervous, but also kind of relieved for it to all finally be over. When he walked in, I was sitting at the dining table wearing my coat. He immediately sensed something was off. He asked me where I was going and I told him home. He laughed and said, "But you are home." Clearly trying to play it off, but he could tell something was up. Then I sent everything I'd been collecting, screenshots, videos, all of it to his WhatsApp. He looked confused and asked why I was texting him, and then he opened his messages. I watched the color drain from his face. I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but I did. He went pale, breathing heavily, and just placed his phone on the table, staring at me like I was a ghost. I didn't say anything, just watching him. Then came the begging. He grabbed my hand, apologized over and over, said he didn't mean to cheat, claimed he ended it 3 months ago, said she didn't mean nothing, and how much he loves me and wants to marry me. I told him we're never getting married. It's over, and I didn't say anything else. That's when he broke down crying like a child. I was honestly disgusted. I stood there watching him on his knees, clutching my legs, begging for forgiveness, and I felt nothing. No sympathy, no sadness, just done. I was completely checked out. I didn't want to say much to him. I just felt numb and it felt pointless. Eventually he turned into this emotional, sweaty, sobbing mess. When he went to the bathroom, I grabbed my last backpack and left. It's finally over. I'm grateful I don't love him anymore. It was an unconventional way to get over someone, but it worked for me. Thank you all for the kind messages. Edit, he texted me from a new number and sending me pathetic messages. I posted on my profile, which I will not be reading because we don't have the time for that, but bro, 8 down, 8 left, right, center. Oh my god. Yeah, no, I think she did everything perfectly. I think that the way she handled this, even though it was unconventional and people don't really do that, honestly, it was probably the healthiest thing she could have done, because imagine trying to go through that. And we knew, listen, I knew. Oh, it ended. That was 3 months ago. Please take me back. I won't do it again. Like, yes, you will. Yeah, you will. Hello? Regardless, also, the damage is done. You can't just take that back. You can't say sorry and oh, I won't do it again. Oh, it ended 3 months ago. The fact is still that you did it. Okay? But yeah, she handled that perfectly. That was she ate that up. That was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Alright, so that is the end of this episode of Audie Unfiltered. I'm so glad that you made it this far. If you liked the video, you should like the video and subscribe. And I will be back with more. So, I'll see you next time. Bye!